Jim Crow laws were a system of state and local laws enacted in the southern United States from the late 19th to mid 20th centuries. These laws enforced racial segregation, denying African Americans basic rights. These laws created separate and unequal societies, where facilities and opportunities were divided by race. African Americans were denied basic rights, including the right to vote, access to quality education, fair employment, and use of public facilities. The pervasive nature of Jim Crow segregation is illustrated by everyday facilities like water fountains, which were strictly separated by race. Schools were also segregated, often with vastly different resources and quality between white and colored institutions. This system of segregation profoundly impacted the daily lives of African Americans, creating barriers to equality and opportunity that lasted for generations. The Civil Rights Act of 1964 was a landmark piece of legislation that outlawed discrimination based on race, color, religion, sex, or national origin. Signed into law by President Lyndon B. Johnson in 1964, this act specifically prohibited discrimination in public accommodations like hotels and restaurants. It also addressed discrimination in employment practices, ensuring equal job opportunities regardless of race or other protected characteristics. Furthermore, the act banned discrimination in programs receiving federal financial assistance. This legislation aimed to dismantle the legal basis of segregation that had been enforced through Jim Crow laws and similar discriminatory practices. The immediate impact was profound. It marked the end of legal segregation in public spaces and helped ensure equal opportunities for all Americans, setting the stage for further civil rights advancements. The journey toward civil rights involved both judicial decisions and legislative initiatives over many years. In 1954, the landmark Supreme Court decision in Brown v. Board of Education ruled that segregation in public schools was unconstitutional, declaring separate facilities inherently unequal. A decade later, in the mid-1960s, President Lyndon B. Johnson launched the Great Society programs to combat poverty and racial injustice through comprehensive domestic reforms. Key programs included Medicare and Medicaid, which provided healthcare access to millions of elderly and low-income Americans, addressing systemic health inequalities. Head Start offered early education and childcare to children from disadvantaged backgrounds, creating opportunities for marginalized communities to break cycles of poverty. These initiatives built upon the foundation laid by Brown v. Board, demonstrating how judicial rulings paved the way for broader legislative action against systemic inequalities. The 19th Amendment to the U.S. Constitution, ratified in 1920, granted women the right to vote. This landmark change expanded democratic participation nationwide. In 1848, the Seneca Falls Convention marked a key step in the women's suffrage movement. In 1890, the National Women's Suffrage Association marked a key step in the women's suffrage movement. In 1919, the amendment passed marked a key step in the women's suffrage movement. In 1920, the amendment ratified marked a key step in the women's suffrage movement. While specifically addressing women's suffrage, the 19th Amendment connected deeply to the broader civil rights movement by expanding democratic participation and setting a precedent for equality. This victory influenced subsequent movements fighting for racial equality and other forms of social justice, demonstrating how suffrage struggles interconnected with wider civil rights battles. The fight for women's suffrage showed the interconnected nature of social change movements, paving the way for a more inclusive democracy where all voices could participate in shaping society.